Welcome to a Westlink update. You recognize where I am? Remember this place? Look at this. Yeah, 7 months. 7 months. We've got a great run outside and meeting together, but if we're going to continue to meet together, the weather is what it is in Kansas. We're going to need to move in. When we get together this coming Sunday, it's kind of a trial. This is how it's going to work this Sunday, is we're going to have our live stream. Okay? We're going to have our live stream, and then we will just come in here and do our singing and Lord's Supper and kind of get a feel for what it's going to be like. So if you're coming this Sunday, don't expect a full-blown assembly like we used to have. This Sunday, it's kind of like our trial run outside, moving inside. But in order to move in, we want to make sure that everything goes as effectively as it can, efficiently as it can, and safely as it can with the pandemic going on. And so what we want to do with this update is let you know some of the goals that we have with moving inside, as well as some procedures, and we want to look at responsibilities that it's going to take for all of us to be a part of. So let's just get to the goals. When we talk about moving inside and during this COVID time, what we have is 4 goals. Okay? Number 1, goal 1, we want to provide procedures and guidelines for lessening the risk of COVID-19 transmission to all attendees and to others who attendees will later contact. Do you get that? What we're trying to do is think of everything, take all the guidelines from the CDC and just say what in the world is the best way that we can meet in the safest way we can. Not just while we're here, but considering while we're here, we don't want to take anything home or to the people that we're going to work with or whatever, so we don't want to be a part of that. So that's goal number 1. Goal number 2, to share a meaningful experience together of praise to God and encouragement for one another while fully maintaining the procedures and the guidelines. This is going to be a little trickier goal to really make happen, because the procedures and the goals, well, and the guidelines, that's wearing face covers. That's social distancing. We're going to get to those in a little bit. But we want to make it as meaningful as we can inside of those guidelines and inside of the procedures that we want to set. So that's our goal, is to work as hard as we can to make it as meaningful as we can. That's goal number 2. Let's go to goal number 3. Goal number 3, to relieve any guilt and remove judgments toward anyone not attending who is high risk or who does not feel comfortable in groups. We will continue to provide a weekly live stream. Okay? Goal 3, we don't want anybody left out. We have had really good success in our live stream. Viewers have been in, and we want to continue that. And we know that there are people that just are at higher risk and should not be in large groups. They shouldn't be participating inside of a building. And some that just don't feel comfortable being in a building. There is no guilt with that. And so we want to remove that by continuing to let you know you are a part, and we will continue our live stream so that everybody can continue to feel a part. And some people can't even be here because they live in a different place. So we want everybody to still be a part of what we have going on here. So we're going to continue that. Let's go to goal number 4, to make adjustments to all procedures and guidelines as warranted by unfolding changes in our community concerning COVID-19. We put this one in because we know, and you know, it changes overnight. There could be the next ruling by the county and by the city and by the state is going to be this coming Tuesday, the 21st, I believe, or somewhere in there. And so we may have to make more changes. We may have to adjust in all the procedures that we do in the guidelines. But that's our goal, is to stay in tune with what's happening and to continue to be as safe as we can and have as good of experience as we can while we're inside. So that's our goals. But in order to meet the goals, we got to have some procedures and guidelines. So this is what we put together from talking to different people, looking into, researching all of this. What is one of the better ways that we can proceed with this? So let's talk about our procedures. The very first procedure, this is not brain surgery here. Everybody knows what's coming up. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have face coverings, and they must be worn while we're in the building, okay? All the time. That includes when we're singing, right? And so that's just where we are in our day and age. And like we've talked about, the face covering is not necessarily so I won't get it, it's so I won't spread it, right? So that's procedure one. Another procedure is that we want to sanitize our hands when we're coming into the building. That'll be provided, but please just sanitize your hands, so therefore that way, anything that you touch or whatever, that will be totally taken care of. And then we want to move into social distancing. We're going to have the pews marked off. It will be clear where we need to sit in order to have that, but it's not just while we're sitting in the pews. It's important anytime we're in the building to have social distance in the building. All right, so that's procedure number 3. So that means when we're in the auditorium, number 4 is sit only with your family in the designated areas. And the communion supplies and whatever else is needed for that, you'll see it when you get here, but sit with your family in those areas. Number 5, okay, the offering plates are going to be at the back of the auditorium instead of being passed. We don't want to go from place to place, and so they'll be at the back, and you can put your offering in there, and of course there's still online going on. Let's go to number 6. All fellowship visiting must take place outside. This is a really key important thing that we've looked into, and so that means that we'll just, if you're going to be talking, if you're going to be visiting, it needs to be outside, not in the auditorium, not even in the building anywhere. That's what we're going to try to proceed with there. So let's go to number 7. Be sure, this is simple, you've already been doing it, wash your hands when you come out of the bathroom. If you have to use the bathroom, wash your hands. We're making an emphasis of that just because it needs to be said once in a while. Here we go, number 8. Stay home if you're not feeling well for any reason, or if you have knowingly been exposed to COVID-19 in the last 10 days. Okay? So, this is really weird to say, isn't it? Just stay home. It's for your health as far as everyone else's here. Okay? Those are the procedures that we have right now. We'll probably be changing. We may be adding. Maybe we'll be able to move somewhere down the road. Those are what we have right now, procedures and guidelines. All right, so we got these goals, we got our procedures and guidelines. How's this going to work? It's only going to work if each one of us will take on the individual responsibility that we need. Let's think about some individual responsibilities. First of all, you have to decide, I have to decide if I'm in that high-risk category and choose whether to attend or not. There's no way for us to figure that out for you or for you to figure that out to me, but we want to encourage you, if you're in the high risk, really highly consider that, being in the high risk, okay? So if that's where you are, take that responsibility, all right? Secondly, humbly follow all of the in-building procedures and guidelines, okay? And this is important that we're trying to protect ourselves, but we're trying to protect, and more importantly, the other people that are here. And then even more important than that, we're concerned about, protecting the people in our community and outside of here, the ones that we come in contact. Whether you go home to someone or you go to work to somewhere, that's just humbly follow these procedures. Just say they're here, well thought out, trying to do the best we can to provide the greatest safety that we can. And something else that is going to be an individual responsibility, and that is that we lovingly kind of peer pressure each other with these procedures and guidelines. Just lovingly, if you see somebody just remind them, hey, we're all wearing a mask. Those kind of things. Hey, let's go outside to talk. I really want to talk to you, but remember they said, just take those procedures and move them. Oh, I didn't sanitize my hand. Let me say, did you sanitize yours? Okay, so we just lovingly, continually help each other with those. And then another, I think, important individual responsibility is to not be offended if somebody does tell you that. Right? If I did forget, and I have done this, I've started to walk into a restaurant and not have my mask on, and somebody said, hey, you need a mask. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't have to be offended, and the same here. If somebody says, hey, what about this or that? Now, let's take it as we're all working together to bring about the best experience that we can have with all the goals and the procedures and the guidelines. So thanks for looking at this. I hope this has been helpful. We're going to send this out, get all this in a written form, PDF, digital, and make sure that we have these for this coming Sunday. Thanks.